June is Pride Month, and Steinberg Investment Group is very proud to celebrate and honor our friends in the LGBTQ community. I'm delighted today to share with you a brief discussion about how finances have had an effect on the lives of two couples who are members of the LGBT community, my friends, Richard and Jim, and Lynn and Allison. So first, I'd like to ask Richard and Jim, how has your view on saving and investing and planning for your financial future changed over the past 10 years since you've been married? And so it's been, I think, slightly more than 10 years since you've been married. The Richard and Jim are in New York, and the Marriage Equality Act was signed into law by Governor Cuomo in June of 2011. And I know you were married slightly after that, or very shortly after that.
Correct.
So tell me how that has changed for you.
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
Well, once we got married, we joined our finances. Before we were married, we had separate checking accounts, separate savings accounts, separate everything. But, we met later in life. Jim was in his late 40s. I was in my early 50s. We had already been living together for almost 10 years. We knew our relationship was going to be for the long haul. So we decided it just didn't make sense for us not to combine our finances together. We also at that time owned a country house, which we both joint owned. So, just putting the finances in one pot for us, made sense. And one other thing I'll say is that now, not for all couples, but for us, what worked best was that, and even before that, sort of it was happening, but one of us took over basically following the account and paying all the bills. It just meant that it was less confusing if one person did that chore. So there was no complication about paying bills, mortgages, that kind of stuff.
So yeah, that's great. Thank you, Richard. And so now I'll turn it over to Lynn and Allison. And Lynn and Allison just got married about 6 months ago. So congratulations. That's exciting. How did finances enter in, or did finances enter in your decision to marry? Because I know you've been together for quite some time. So were finances any consideration when you decided to marry?
I think the main,
It wasn't for you.
Oh, yeah.
For us this time.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. It did a little bit. So prior to being married, we've been together for 17 years now. And for most of our relationship, we both had executive careers that provided benefits, and we're both financially stable. Much like the boys, we had separate accounts, but we also had a joint account, and we owned property together. And so we would pay joint expenses out of the joint account, but we would manage our own finances independently, savings accounts, 401ks, and things like that. But there was always me looking over the whole picture and thinking about our financial future as a whole, as a couple. But the last 5 years, I have been out of the corporate world and being my own boss in several different ventures, real estate agent. So I lost the kind of juicy corporate benefits that were available. So one financial motivation for us to get married was that I could get partner benefits through Allison's work. Also, my income has fluctuated, and so filing jointly would allow me to my expenses as a realtor could be written off of Allison's big paycheck. So, and those are basically the two kind of minor reasons why financial thoughts came into getting married, but mostly it was big fat love.
Well, that's the best reason.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yep.
for sure. So I'll turn it back over to Jim and Richard. Why do you feel it is important for LGBTQ couples to consider finances, either joining together or keeping them separate as they plan their lives together?
Jim?
Well, I don't see any way around combining. I just don't see any economical reason for doing that or legal. Unless you had some previous real estate holdings before your marriage, or some other holdings. But in most cases, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't combine.
Mm-hmm. And why do you feel it's important for finances to enter into a discussion or to the decision as you and Richard have planned your life together?
Well, this is the thing about.
Well, I mean, I don't know about the economics of that, but it's just much easier if you handle it that way, and then it's one less bone of contention,
Yes.
in a world of contentious bones.
And also, I mean, filing jointly has been, it's been great. It's much, much easier. Only one of us, now we just do it over the phone, and only needs one of us to do it. And the other thing is combining your finances, it sort of also ensures if the unfortunate thing happened and one of us dies, that inheritance is much less complicated if you're married and all of your money is jointly held.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Very true. Yep.
So Allison or Lynn, what advice do you think is important for other LGBTQ couples to consider?
I'll take this one. Beyond finances, I think it's important that the whole picture is addressed. And by the whole picture, I mean things like advanced medical directives, because not all states are equal in recognizing gay marriage. And to that, you might consider a medical power of attorney for similar reasons. And then taking it one step further, establishing a will or a trust so you can minimize some of the probate complications when the time comes to deal with death.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, good advice. Good advice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you taking the time, and we wish you a happy Pride Month.
Why, thank you, Lance
Thanks,
Steinberg.
Yeah,
And say hello to the family, and we will see you shortly.
absolutely.